tales of strange encounters from the Arkansas boys. If you've had a strange encounter from a dog man, Bigfoot, ghost, alien, or any kind of monster for that matter, you can send your account to arkansasboys@gmail.com. Be sure if you want us to include your name or not, and we'll get your story on here, and we're going to get right into our next show, episode 5 of Strange Encounters Told by the Arkansas Boys.
And on today's episode of Strange Encounters, we are going to be talking about the mysterious Moonlight Murders. They took place in Texarkana, Arkansas. The mysterious Moonlight Murders had the town of Texarkana dreading sundown. Curfews were instituted, and police on both the Arkansas and Texas side of the border spent sleepless nights hunting the elusive phantom killer. They had no idea what he looked like, even though the first 2 victims survived the attacks. The killer wore a bag over his head with eye holes cut out and killed young couples parked in their cars at night. The killing stopped as quickly as they started, and the killer's identity was never discovered. The killer, described by witnesses as wearing a white mask or sack with holes cut out for eyes, was dubbed the Phantom Killer or the Phantom Slayer, a name that seemed ready-made for drive-in theaters. Authorities believe he killed 5 people in 10 weeks. 3 others, including his first 2 victims, survived their attacks. The first attack took place on February the 22nd, 1946, on a secluded road outside of the town. The Phantom approached Jimmy Hollis and Mary Larry, a young couple parked in their car. He blinded them with his flashlight upon approach, then held them at gunpoint and ordered them out of the vehicle. The Phantom and proceeded to beat him severely, fracturing his skull. The Phantom told Mary Larry to run. She then scrambled toward the ditch. He told her to change courses and run toward the road. He then chased her down and sexually assaulted her with the pistol he carried before letting her run away again. In spite of the savagery of their attacks, both Hollis and Larry survived. Others weren't so lucky. Now, all these killings were all inspired and portrayed in the movie The Town That Dreaded Sundown. Okay, and now we are going to switch stories to a story that happened in Camden, Arkansas, not very far from where we are. That happened in 1975.
Alright, our next story comes from Steve Kaufman, and I'll just read his encounter here. He says, I'm 64, live in the backwoods of Louisiana, but this encounter happened back in 1975 when I was in the military station at Fort Polk here in Louisiana. I had a girlfriend that lived outside Camden, Arkansas, about 4-hour drive, so on the weekends I'd go up, stay with her and her family on their farm, help her dad with tending to the cattle, fence building and such. One Friday night we were all in the den. Her granny was washing dishes in the kitchen down the hall. Suddenly she screams. We run to see about her. She's on her butt on the floor, pointing at the window over the sink, yelling, I seen it again. My girlfriend's dad yells, grab a gun, so we all do and head out back towards the pasture. Her brothers go to the right. Me and her dad go to the left. We had headed toward the swamp, which is in the corner of the pasture. Then we catch a stench, rough, like something dead or strong piss. Then suddenly we jump something up in the thicket, something huge. It jumps the fence right in front of us. We aren't 25 feet from it. It stands up, flanks us. It's about 8 foot tall, around 700 pounds, covered in hair. It runs from us. We watch it cross the pasture, and it crashes through the oak wood cattle gate, shredding it. Then it roars, a roar that to this day, 46 years later, gives me the chills. Her brothers come from the other side yelling, "Y'all hear that?" I said, "Hear it, we seen the damn thing." After Granny calmed down, Granny told me it looks in on her in the window ever so often. It's like a huge man's face, but hair all around its face with big red glowing eyes. I was 19 years old back then, an Army Ranger, but there was nothing that the U.S. Army Ranger School in Fort Benning, Georgia trained me for to deal with what I seen that night. Laugh out loud. I come out of the military and started my career in law enforcement, retired a few years ago. Now at 64, I sit on my porch here in the woods with my cup of coffee and enjoy life. But in the back of my mind will always be, what if I see one again? Thanks for that encounter there, Steve. Thanks for sharing with us, and that's going to conclude this episode 5 of Strange Encounters from the Arkansas Boys. Be on the lookout for Strange Encounter 6, and we're going to have some more stories from around the Ball Knob Lake area that B.C. Davis is going to give us. Thanks for watching.